exactly.
Right, sir.
And JC5, who already liaison officer, came not as a politician, but
As an officer
on
working in the London office.
yes, supporting the Gambia delegation.
Very
I
well,
mean
sir.
the PPP delegation,
Very well,
which
sir.
is the government
Very well, sir.
delegation. Of course, the Right Reverend Duncan Sands was the Secretary of State for the colonies at the time, and we had Lord Lansdowne to attend the conference, and in fact he chaired most of the meetings. Now, on the most important item on the agenda, of course, is the question of the independence of the Gambia. Would Great Britain agree to grant independence or not? And of course, the various political parties in Gambia had their different approaches to the problem. Well, we in the PPP, we thought that we should go all the way and ask for complete independence, complete sovereignty, and so on. And that any other changes in our constitution and our sovereign zone must be done after we had already become an independent sovereign country. This was our
stand.
Our stand. But I mean, the other parties differed quite a bit from this stand. But anyway, this was stand. I mean, you may.
And eventually you got it, sir.
Eventually, we have this. It was agreed that the Gambia should become independent, and we pressed for the time, and it was agreed that this should be in 1965. Before we attain that independence, we have to have certain constitutional instruments. One of them would be an independence constitution, to which the colonial power would agree, on the basis of which the colonial power would agree to grant its independence. And also the colonial power had to pass an act, pass a legislation in their parliament to grant the Gambia independence. And the Gambia Independence Act 1964 was passed then, it was given assent to by Her Majesty the Queen on the 17th of December 1964. So it was on the basis of that Gambia Independence Act, passed by the British Parliament and assented to by Her Majesty the Queen, that actually granted the Gambia independence. And what remained now was for us to choose a date, and I, on behalf of the PPP, choose the 18th of February 1965 to be our independence day.
Were there any reservations? For example, thinking that the Gambia being a small country and our potential was mainly in agriculture, and some people may think that you may not be able to survive, you may have your independence, but closer cooperation with Senegal. Does this thing actually surfaced?
Oh, yeah. The skepticism about whether the Gambia can, in fact, sustain independence was around, from various quarters. I mean, in fact, this was most highlighted more profusely or profoundly, more democratically, or demonstrably by a U.S. Journalist who actually described the Gambia as an improbable nation. The Gambia entering independence as an improbable nation. But we entirely disagreed with that. He was around here. Some Gambians think we should expel him. Said, no, he's expressing his views.
Exactly,
his view.
Exactly.
We entirely disagree with him, and we just carry on our program and we achieve our independence. And then he will see whether we are in probable nation
or not.
And of course, when this act was passed, we choose a date, the 18th of February, to be the independence, and the British government sent the Duke of
Kent,
who came along with his wife, Kent, to present to me the Constitution instruments, which consisted of the Independence Constitution itself and the Independence Act 1964, which was passed by the British Parliament. And this was handed to me before we went on the podium to celebrate independence and bring down
The flag, the
Union
Union Jack,
flag, the Union Jack, and mount the
Gambian
Gambia
flag.
independence flag.
There were big preparations to celebrate the 18th of February 1965, of which very last, and not call it last longing, but symbols of posterity came about. The national flag, the coat of arms, and of course the national anthem.
Yes.
There were competitions held. Can you rewind and give us your input into how all these things came about?
Oh yes, well, when we approached independence, we asked the general public to submit proposals for national flag, proposals for
National anthem?
for national anthem, and
The
people
coat of
responded.
arms.
Pardon?
The coat of arms.
And the coat of arms, and people responded
Positively.
positively, and a flag, we accepted a flag, which really was wonderful, really, because it's a
Which was done
simple
by
flag.
Mr. Louis Tomasi.
Tomasi,
Very well, sir.
yes, and it in fact has a meaning.
The red.
Well, we had the sun, the
Red
top
for the
of
sun.
red,
Yes.
white,
Blue.
blue, white,
And
green.
green, right, sir.
Okay. Then the red representing optimism and so on and so on. Looking forward positively to the future. Then there was a white strip before we came to the blue strip, which represented our River Gambia, you know, and flanked by which connected us to our hope of prosperity and the right, and of economic development on the green flag at the bottom, which was the basis of our agriculture, and so on and so on. But these were just, I mean, one can interpret them in many different
There is
ways.
no better way to define those colors.
Yes,
You've
but-
aptly put it there.
But we had a very apt, simple, but very lovely flag. Then the national anthem, again we put out a competition, and it was how, I think,
Duncan Sands.
no, the one who actually, whose submission
Yes.
for a suggestion for a national anthem
Anthem.
was one of the, it was a commissioner, I think, from the, how was it?
J.F. Howe.
Jeffrey
Jeffrey Howe.
Howe.
And his wife.
And his wife.
Yes.
They
And they based the tune on the Mandika song Fode Kaba Dumbuya
Dumbuya.
by the late Jali Nyama Suso.
That's right.
Very well, sir.
Yes.
Very well, sir.
So that was very appropriate, simple, and to the point. And again, it stands out clearly as a really outstanding national anthem for any country.
Then the coat of arms.
The coat of arms also went out of competition. I can't remember exactly.
Mr. Potin, he worked with the service
That's-
department.
yeah.
Very well, sir. Very well, sir.
He submitted a design for a coat of arms, which was accepted from the many that were submitted. And then we have all these traps, the trappings of sovereignty and independence, and it was then left to us, to the political parties, the politicians generally, the general citizenry, the people to actually exert themselves, and knowing that we had the destiny of our country in our own hands now, to work hard to make it a success.
Independence Day 1965, you were at #1 Marina Parade and about to go and do your first official engagement as Prime Minister of the Gambia. What was the program like for you that day?
Pardon?
1965,
Yeah.
18th of February.
Yeah.
You were to go and do an official function, the celebration of the Gambia.